Wow. All right. Welcome back to Rob's Arcade. This is going to be kind of like maybe like a part four to what I've been doing with this retro rewind weekend. But I was doing some um, video on Corpse Killer and discovered a ton of behind the scenes videos and such. And I spoke a little bit about Ground Zero Texas and some of the other full motion video games that I enjoy playing. And it hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I have the nuclear edition of Ground Zero Texas. Does this have behind the scene footage? So I got up this morning, made some coffee, and jumped right back into this. So here we are, Retro Rewind weekend, looking at Ground Zero Texas, and really just looking at digital pictures and some of their games that I used to play growing up. I absolutely loved hearing and seeing that logo pop up, and I knew typically I was going to be in for an entertaining experience. Maybe not an amazing video game, but definitely an entertaining experience. And I think that's kind of where the full motion video um, games kind of like landed in this weird realm where they weren't really video games and they weren't really movies. They were something kind of like in between, and they were using video game systems to harness this new medium. And it wasn't something that really panned out very well. I was kind of talking about this in some of my other videos because I feel like, you have a movie, it releases in a box office or it's shown on TV, and you have sponsors and people who buy into it. And there's a chance to make your money back. You put so much money into production value, you sell tickets, uh, you got home movies, rentals, all of these things, and it really adds to the overall gross of a movie. I mean, that's just how that works. I feel like the video game, this couldn't have been very profitable because it's not being released nationwide. It's being released in game stores, video stores, and that's really the limit, like video rental places, movie places, electronic stores. It's not hitting a mass market. Not everybody had a Sega CD growing up. There's not a huge. It's not like everybody has a VCR. Everybody's got cable, or you've got a chance to make your money back on a production. This was something that was kind of groundbreaking, but I don't think it was given a chance to really take off. So let's just do a quick sound test real quick. Make sure everything I'm doing is working. Excuse me. Yep, we got a good sound test. Microphone check. Cough 1 2. All right. So as I was saying in Corpse Killer, they had bonus content, which looks a lot like this. And this is my problem with a lot of games. Like, I just don't always read. This has always been something for like the last 30 or so years. But they have these gameplay videos, and this is something that's kind of cool. You can go through and watch all the different gameplay videos. I'm only missing a few out of all of these, which is, pretty cool. Um, but if you look down at the bottom, it's like change selection, exit, all this stuff. I've never, I noticed this last night when I was playing Corpse Killer. Change selection. Oh my gosh, bonus videos. I was always wondering what this looked like because I'm like, this is essentially they're making a movie. Like I said, yes, it's a movie you're controlling. It's a movie you have the control of the action and all that, but it's basically a movie. Like these are actors. Do these guys have to like show up and audition and like, it's just like it always kind of tripped me out. I mean, even like I'm watching one of the Return of the Living Dead movies, not part three as I was watching the other day, but another one. And these movies are awful. They're bad. They're like super cheesy. The effects are bad. The makeup's kind of silly, but it gets released. It gets some airtime. It's being shown on streaming networks now, but it's still like it's got to be hokey and goofy making this. Like you gotta know while you're making, like, this isn't the best thing really out there, but whatever, you're having fun. I was always wondering with like these games, is there a script? People, I mean, it's got to be. You have people who show up and like dress to set, costumes, all of these things. Like there's cater, so it's just it. I've literally for the last 30 years or so wondered about, especially like games like this, like Ground Zero Texas. Um, I think there was one called like Prize Fighter or something like that about a boxer. Um, even like Sewer Shark. All these games, like the cowboy one, McGruff or whatever. It's like they all had whatever that one is. They all had like full on production, and I've always wanted. So now finally, and I've had this downloaded for quite some time now. It's been like I said, Sega CD. I wish I had a chance to play more Sega CD video games. Honestly, like this, looking at the Jurassic Park titles, it really made me miss Jurassic Park for the Sega CD. And really, what's interesting is the Sega CD was like it was a cool system, and like you look back at some of the games and the graphics or the full motion video, it's grainy, it's not the best, but there was something about it. There was just I don't know, like I can't.
Do you read me? Okay, stay with me this time.
Yes, ma'am. I just can't really explain it. There's just something like even like Sherlock Holmes, like the
Still coming. All right, it's on you now, or we're all history.
wow, even like Sherlock Holmes, like it was such like a weird game where you point and click and you just watch videos, but there was just something about it. I don't know. I think, and I kind of tried to explain. This is great. This is amazing, actually. Hold on, I'm not gonna. I just want to watch this here for a second. (1993). That's crazy. See, like they're having like a meeting right now on this whole production thing. Like this was shot in the summer back in 1993. So about this time, what, 47 years ago? Oh, no, wait, no, sorry, 42 years ago or something like that. Yeah, 42 years ago. Right. I know math. It's just crazy. No, I can't hear anything. I don't know what he's saying. That guy's like looking up at this. Nobody's paying attention. The guy in the background with the little sock on his head, he's just like, "What are you talking about, man? What's it gonna blow up?" And that guy right there, with the curly hair, he's just like, I think my girlfriend is gonna break up with me if I don't get her a goddamn wedding ring. And I don't think this production's gonna pay for one. Like, we've been out here. And the girl in the hat just looking around like she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, okay, man, this is." Dude. I think the guy in the helmet's probably asleep. I'm not even listening to him. He's probably saying some really important stuff. He's talking about things going up and things coming down, dust and explosions. Look, that guy's back is yawning. Oh man, I ain't got time for this shit. Can we hurry up and blow this? But yeah, I was like this. I mean, like they're like literally blowing up sets in this game, and that was something like I said. If this was available back in the day, I probably would have crapped my pants. Because like this is such an like just a really it's an abomination, but it's such just like a, a a collection of just so many things that I love. Like I said, games and movies and action and sci-fi, or just like all these different elements, kind of like rolled into one little piece. Like I remember playing, certain Sega CD games. Ego the Dolphin was one and it had this option of watching like digital or digitized video of like a dolphin documentary. Dolphins swim through like it just narrated. It had the whole thing. And again, it's like these pixelated kind of grainy video, but it was amazing. It was things that I would like pull. Like this guy's showing up late. What's going on? But it's like things that this, I would pull my sister and people are like, oh, you gotta watch this. You gotta see this. Like this is a video game, but you can watch like a TV show. And it'd be like a full like 30, 40 minute long dolphin documentary, like included in your game. So I just can't imagine, like if I had had the option to play Ground Zero Texas back in the 90s and then also see how it was, but it would blow my mind. Because I said this is something for like, so I think 40 some years now. I've been like looking at this and going like, how did they make this? How did they do this? You know, it used to be more like 38 years, but like whatever, you know what I mean? But for like 38 years, I've been sitting here looking at this. For 25 years. If people are just like showing up late, I love it. Yeah, I used to watch this or play this game so much, and just I loved, like I said, watching these fools, like all these things in the background, these like buildings. I mean, they literally just like go up in smoke. The town like will go through these phases where it's and I'm sure they shot other things have been shot here. Like I said, it's a full-on set. So at like 14, I just remember like playing this and just looking at all of this and just being like the work that went into, because like I said, I wasn't just a kid who just like watched movies and just was like, oh, like Back to the Future. Like I loved Back to the Future, but also like Back to the Future 2 and all that. Like I would pick it apart, like try to figure it out and really look at it. So again, this was something that as even as a kid, I would look at it like, how are they able to put all this together? And is there casting and is there a director?
Thank you, my straightener. Okay, here's what we got going on for today. We're starting off with gunfire, first of all, brought to you by Kent. And we're going to have our same ground bombs.
It's crazy. And all this is, like I said, just for a game. You're going to play on your Sega CD.
Over here by the bandstand and right behind this wall. That's going to be our first shot up. Our next shot up is going to be the appliance store. Now, the appliance store is going to be just like the pawn shop. We've got sand mortars, primer cord, and fire coming out of there. Everybody that was here Saturday knows what that all sounds like and what to expect. You're going to have stuff just flying all over the place. After that, we're going to be on the mini mart over here, and we've got the exact same thing, except we've got 2 windows on that. We've got propane mortars in there. We've got sand mortars in there. We've got.
So like, try to picture that. Like you're 13, 14 years old. You're playing video games with like cool graphics, but it's all graphics, it's just digital sprites and colorful red and orange fireballs and when things blow up, it's little yellow, orange, red, little dots flashing all over the screen. The bad guy blows up and then you go to the next level. So then picture like you're playing those games, you're playing Contra, you're playing, Sonic the Hedgehog.
that something does happen,
And then you
please
get to something
stay
like
off the
this,
radios.
and it's like a whole building front. It literally explodes on screen, you know, and there's wood and there's debris and there's smoke
water trucks again. We'll have one
and there's just like
on
shit
each
flying
side of where
all
we
over
do
the screen.
our
It was
pyrotechnics,
amazing. It was
and my
absolutely out
guys
of this
will man
world.
those hoses along with the Values guys. And if there's nothing else, let's get out of here early today.
So that's wild to see this. That like, yeah, this is. I mean, look at how many people are here for all of this. You know, all the actors, the assistants, the gun handlers. You know, there's somebody there who's got to like handle on any production. They have like a guy who handles all the weapons. You know, he's like a weapons master, like a prop master, and all these people that they have, like a wardrobe. All of these people, they have professionals who are in place to like get all of this stuff organized and set and ready to go. So if you have like a medieval film, you've got some guy with 50 different axes and swords and maces and all these different things and knives, and you know, he handles all of it to make sure like, okay, you know, this is a metal one for principal shots, and
They're definitely coming this way.
then we have a rubber one for,
Looking for whoever ripped off their stronghold. That person would be you.
you know, action shots and fights and all of that, impact hits and stuff. And you know, you got to be able to switch them out. And same thing with like these guns. You know, it's like you got these rubber guns and guns that shoot blanks and all of these things, different rifles. And so it's like there's a guy there, literally, probably not only making all of the alien guns and putting all that crap together, but then he's got to sit there and like, you know, keep people safe because there's blanks and there's flashes, bangs, and all this stuff. I thought he was like trying to kill himself with the thing. Like, what am I doing here? Just,
Hey, only Mark.
and then to like, I mean, I wonder what people were thinking when this was being put together. Like this guy here, you know, like he's probably showing up every day for work on
Okay, still two is up. Still.
television shows and movies and films and all these different things and commercials. You know, dozens and dozens of TV commercials, right?
Sorry, three is up now. They said they roll, so three is up.
I didn't say roll it, guys, so let's wait. Let's get it straight.
Let's get this right, man. Let's do this thing right, okay, man?
They're definitely coming this way. Gotta figure they're looking for whoever had the guts to rip off their stronghold. That person would be you. Move, Claire! Move it!
Excuse me. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. But yeah, I mean, like, so I'm just like wondering what some of these guys, you know, like, oh, this is good. There's no audio, so I can just kind of talk. But yeah, I'm like these guys, like, you know, they're all showing up here, hot tamales, and they've been working on shows, commercials, you know, different things, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, we're doing this thing. It's called Ground Zero Texas, and they're like, oh, is this a horror movie or like what is this? And they're like, no, no, no. They start looking at it like a sci-fi thing, and then people are like, okay. And then people probably still think, or is this a show? Like, is this a movie? And then they're like, no, 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 no. This is going to be a game. And then I'm wondering how people are like, what? Like, how does this, you know? I think at some point we had board games too that came with cassette tapes, which I guess is kind of like where this idea is coming from, where you would play a board game, and then at some point it would be like press play, and then you would like get a message, and it'd be a guy dressed up like a barbarian or whatever in a really bad digital background castle or something. And you would kind of go on these like Dragon Quest adventures with these characters, and the video would kind of help fill in some of the imagination pieces and kind of give you a visual to what you were supposed to be seeing. And I'm guessing maybe that's where some of this um, branched off from. And like, there might have been an idea of like, okay, this is what this is. Like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, I've heard of something like that. Um, with like D&D or something. But I'm sure for the most part, most people were just like, "What is it? Like we're making a game, and like, how does this work? How does this work as a game? How does this translate as a video game? If we're making like a movie and shooting this?" So I'm sure for a lot of people, they were probably like, this is never going to see the light of day." Um, or maybe at this point too, there had been a few, so there was maybe some examples to show, like they were able to kind of come in and kind of show some of the people working on this production. But I mean, like maybe this guy. I mean, like I said, some of these guys, I'm sure have like no idea like what this is. Um, some of them, maybe the higher ups, might see what this looks like, and it's like, okay, yeah, we've seen other like Sega CD or I don't know 3D Yoga or like whatever Panasonic CD systems or something else out there that might have had something similar to this. But like I would think for the most part, like some of these guys in these hats just like are like, what are we doing? Like, what is this? It's a video game. Like, how does this work? Will this work? Like, I don't care. It's like that guy right there, with the white shirt, the hat. He's like, I don't care about nothing, man. That guy right there too. Is like, as long as I get my check, I don't give a shit. I got my neck bandana on. I'm having great Mexican food every night for dinner. Or like the flip side, you know, like that guy in the hat comes home or back to the hotel. His like his wife's there or whatever, or after maybe after the production's done, he comes home to his wife or whatever, and she's just like, how was it? He's just like, I don't even know what did you guys do? She's like, I don't even know what this was. It's like these guys supposed to be aliens, but it was just some dude with a plastic ray gun dressed up in overalls, and I don't know. We shot 6 days of hillbillies just jumping out from behind cars and falling back on air mattresses. Dun, 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 dun. The music was always amazing. Dun, 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 dun. But like I said, this is great. This is always something really cool, and I'm gonna kind of wrap it up with this and just say that, it's an interesting evolution that games have taken. Um, just I remember being 14, renting these games from the video store. Like I said, Sega CD wasn't very popular, um, as far as like every kid in the neighborhood having one. So I had a choice of games at the video store, and I was really fortunate to play some fun games like this. But the evolution of it is always kind of fascinated me to a degree where it's not lost on me that at the beginning, the dawn of time, as TV was being exposed to us, and this is even before my time. Again, it was like news programs and educational TV and some shows and some movies and just like a very um, more like variety shows and just kind of Colgate comedy hour, and like it wasn't like what we have today with like all these dozens of television shows and these writing rooms and all these like thought out seasons and what have you. So when you look at television shows and as it kind of like evolves even and entertainment, and we start to have shows and Brady Bunch and the tuning into Andy Griffith show every day. um, we then get hit with a piece of technology that allows us to not just sit back and observe the action and the stories unfolding on the screen and just be an observer of the characters, but a piece of technology that allows us to control the characters and kind of allows us to be interactive with the story and with the narrative, and sometimes even choose the story and the narrative. And that came in the form of video games and things as simple as, Asteroids and Super Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog. And as it starts to evolve, we then get hit with something like this where we're not just an observer of the program. We're not just an observer of the show. We're not just controlling the characters. We're not just controlling the pieces, but now we are controlling our interactions with the show that we're observing and with what we're watching. And I think that is what all of these videos and what this look at has been about, because even in something like Jurassic Park CD and all of these games that we would play on Sega CD growing up as a kid, it allowed us to interact with this world and with these pieces on a level that we hadn't quite hit yet. And now, with graphics and things, we're able to kind of interact with these worlds that feel real and that seem real and are almost real and are so close, with like games like, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead and, Gods of War and all of these different video games that we play. And they get so close to reality. They feel so close with their graphics that it's almost, you can't almost tell, like, oh my, that water, the ocean, it looks almost so real. But we were here in an age of the 90s where we were playing and interacting with the real, with real actors, with real people, real sets, real explosions, real things going on in real time. And that to me is just absolutely amazing. So I think, again, when I hear that digital pictures and that see that logo and see, it just brings back something that is very memorable, but also I think very ahead of its time. And as goofy and as weird, thank you, buddy, for that. As these are, there's something special about them too. So I wanted to kind of take some time and look at these. I'm glad you guys hung out with me. I hope you enjoyed these a lot. I am going to continue to watch some of these behind the scenes. Feel free to share, subscribe, like, all that jazz. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these. Let me know if you want to see some more of these. I'd be happy to share some more. But until then, guys, please take care of yourself, take care of each other, and don't spend that quarter anywhere else. See you later, guys. Bye.